This is to Arjuna in the future.
Hello,
And Krishna,
Arjuna.
because he uses the hard drive.
Wow.
Hello, Arjuna.
And Krishna.
Hello, Michael.
All right, here we go. We are back with another episode of Was It Good? Today we are talking episode 3 of Loki and the new Shang-Chi trailer. And for the first time in what seems like 10 years, though it's only been a couple of weeks, all 3 Ram Gopals are back. And Mr. Michael is in his producer's chair. Wow, wow, wow. This is what the Fellowship of the Ring felt like when reuniting after the destruction of the One Ring. Just like that.
Well, technically, the Fellowship never fully reunited.
Because one of them was dead.
I can hear us. That's it. That's weird. Where am I hearing ourselves from?
Maybe this.
The other room. Well, there we go. That's why. That's going to be interesting. Anyway, how's everyone doing?
Good. It's Friday.
Don't do it again, Arjun. Nope.
A day.
Friday means nothing
Friday,
to me at this point.
Friday.
Oh no, Michael.
Time is
Traitor.
Time is a circle and
It's a flat circle.
flat thing.
I can't believe it's like the end of June. It's June 25th.
Yeah, this month went hella
I
fast.
thought it was June. Like,
You know what's
2nd.
crazier too, though?
Halfway through the year.
We are halfway through Loki.
Oh,
we're halfway through
Episode
Loki?
3 of Loki just
Yeah.
came out this past Wednesday. It's only a 6-episode event, series, whatever you want to call it.
I'm holding out hope that they'll just be like, surprise, here's another season. That
We-
filmed
we-
in
Surprise,
secret.
motherfucker.
We thought that with WandaVision. There was only the 9 episodes, and we're like, they're going to fool us. Nope. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you're like, just hurry the fuck up, please. God, please. This episode, I'm going to start off with a little bit of a hot take.
Uh-oh.
I started the episode, then talking started, and then I said, please just hurry up and do something. Please. You know, it's like that meme, and it pokes the things like, do something.
Yes.
You got impatient.
Very impatient.
This was a very anti-Ravi episode.
Yes.
But I mean, it was very similar to episodes 1 and 2 because this whole show has been a lot of talking.
Talk.
Yeah. I think the difference is that there was no Owen Wilson to...
What?
We've gotten used to that interaction between Loki and Mobius.
Wow.
And so, because we didn't have that interaction, which has been probably the most interesting part of the show, that's why it felt radically different, even though the talking was probably the same volume.
Potentially.
So,
Potentially.
I think the most interesting part of the show is the international credits.
Yeah, so this was actually the shortest episode so far. It came in
was.
roughly at 36 minutes.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
just out of
pre-credits.
actual content, and then we had the 10-minute plus of credits again. What's up with that? Why are we going back to this shitty formula? Why can't we go back to the hour-long episodes?
Well, because they don't...
They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah,
It's
they don't-
Disney.
Yeah, they don't use the length of an episode to dictate their flow. They let the story and awesome cinematography.
And Loki.
Well, let's actually real quick
Paying homage
the
to
cinematography at the end. I'll say this right off the bat. That was my favorite part. Was that one shot at the end?
Wow.
That was very cool. It wasn't obviously a true one shot. It wasn't a Children of Men type one shot.
Man,
There were definitely you could
I've
tell
seen
where
that
the
movie
cuts
one
were,
time.
so
Yeah.
good.
but it was still pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. I really liked the needle drop where, you know, the ship blows up, they pan the camera, and Loki's just like... and then Sylvie's just like walking away. She's like, I'm done with it.
For those listening, Arjun just stood there and stared up.
Yeah.
His mouth
shock
his
and
mouth
awe.
is open, his eyes are wide.
Like a bug.
He's got drool coming out of his mouth. There's a little boogers falling from the nose.
Also,
Jesus.
spoilers for the end of the episode.
Spoilers for everything.
Yes.
And that
including-
includes any type of media that has ever been existed because
Yes.
we like to reference
everything.
That's true. That is true.
Like, guess what? Spoiler alert. Darth Vader is Luke's father.
Shut up. That's not true.
Oh,
Star Wars
no.
or Disney's going to go back and retcon that shit.
Time
They
travel. Wait,
should.
time travel does exist in Star Wars.
They have time travel there for some reason. Why do we always end up at Star Wars?
It's
'Cause
our bread
it's-
and butter. We're just familiar
Ravi,
with
look
it
at
so
your
much.
background. Look at our background.
Ravi, look at your arms.
Yeah.
Oh, got some.
Ravi, look
got some
inside your
smutch
brain.
on there. Let me just get that out. Anyway, let's go into our usual flow here of the episode, and we start off with our one-word impressions. We usually tweet this, but for some reason I haven't been. I don't know why. Crisis, maybe. I don't know.
Crisis
Wow.
on Infinite Earth.
That's a good one-word
Great
impression.
movie. Great movie. Actually, that is my one-word impression.
Crisis?
Crisis is my
You just
one-word
came up with
impression for this, and I'm going to go with Crisis
Yeah.
for a very, very simple reason. I think the show is in crisis.
What?
Wow, that's an even hotter take than your previous hot take.
I
from
know.
3 minutes ago.
Because crisis. Maybe crisis is a little like it's definitely extreme to say this, but
Very dramatic of you.
very, very dramatic and over the top. And I am somewhat kidding when I say this, but the first 2 episodes, I was like, "Whoa, we've got something so non-Marvelly and different." And then this episode felt very Marvelly and very kind of grounded in what we've got. We've had 10 years of Marvel content, and this felt very kind of familiar.
We have 13 years of Marvel content.
I said 10 plus years. Nobody says 13 years. That's stupid. You say 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 10 plus years, 15 years, 20 plus years, and then 25, and you just don't care.
13 years.
No. So we have 10 plus years of Marvel content.
Interesting.
And this episode kind of maybe is showing the issues here with Marvel, where they always have to go back to what they're familiar with. And because of that, we're in crisis mode.
I'm curious, though. This show and even this episode are very unlike Marvel. What Marvel normally does, I feel like. Because again, it's a lot of talking.
Right, but it's a big
lot
info
of
dump.
It's and I guess, but the info dumps in movies at least aren't this long. It's normally it's normally like about 5 to 10 minutes of info dump and then action sequence.
Right, and we
5 to 10 minutes.
we got the biggest info dump obviously with the TVA reveal.
Sure.
Right, there's that info dump. We get a lot of her backstory very, very quick.
Sure.
We got that through normal conversation, but we still got all the information we need to know about her that's relevant and important. So,
But it feels like I feel like the crisis is really with our main character, Loki.
well, yeah,
His crisis of
identity.
identity and also just being lonely as fuck.
He's not that lonely.
This guy is so lonely. He is like, I just want friends. That's literally what this guy is like. I think half of the reason he honestly chased her is because he's like, will you be my friend? This guy is like, he's just like, I want.
So you picked up on a little bit of a needy desperation in his actions.
He's
Very
definitely
interesting.
like.
But that's always been kind of Loki's thing, right? The whole reason he wants to
The
rule.
lovable loser.
Well, the whole reason
really
he
is.
wants to rule Midgard and the human beings is he's an attention whore.
Yeah.
He's like the middle child.
He's very-
Yes, I know. I'm the middle child, and I said that.
Well,
Yeah.
You said it.
Guys, real quick, I'm planning on invading Midgard with an army.
Oh, wow. That battle will only take place inside your mind.
It already has.
at night.
Yeah. Celebrities at night. Christian, what's your one-word impression to wrap this?
I'm going to go with variant. Very easy, simple, one word. Pretty obvious. It's the biggest reveal of the episode. Obviously, I'm referring to when Sylvie reveals to Loki that everyone who works at the TVA is a variant, not a clone, not created from nothing, a variant. People picked up, it seems like Earth. At least 2 of our characters, I think, are from Earth in the TVA, and you would assume all of them because they all seem human. Picked up, the memories seem to be altered, and they're variants. So that's
Dun, dun, dun.
the implications of this are pretty interesting because it seems like from our source material, the TVA were either clones.
You're referring to the Marvel comics.
Yes,
the-
Marvel comics.
specifically 70s and 80s
Yes.
intro
Propaganda.
of time. What are they called? Time
Timekeepers?
Lords? Timekeepers?
Yeah.
Time Lords are from Doctor Who, Christian's favorite.
What if the
Keepers?
timekeepers were just 3 actors who played Doctor Who before?
I would probably lose my fucking mind.
And it was Disney's way of announcing, we have acquired Doctor Who.
That's
Whoa.
the BBC. The BBC is a branch of the government, right? Or there's some government influence there.
Sometimes.
So the British government, if that happened, they would invade Disneyland, right? They would drop troopers in there to get
greatest-
Doctor Who back.
The greatest war we've ever seen. Oh, man.
The Queen versus Kevin Feige? Who will win?
Yes,
Mickey
who will
Mouse
win?
cookies versus tea and crumpets.
Oh my God.
Battle we didn't know we needed.
But the one we deserved. For sure.
That's right. The only European Disney property is in Paris, right?
Yeah, Disneyland Paris.
Oh, yeah, I
Correct.
think you're right.
I wonder why they didn't put it in London.
Because it's a prison?
No, because I think the Queen hates Disney.
No, I think it's because if you watch Johnny English, John Malkovich talks about how England should just be a prison. See,
right.
people
True.
think he's a villain in that movie. But he's just truly he's a hero, and he has vision.
He wanted to turn England into a I forgot all about that. John
his whole plot.
Malkovich, what a villain.
That's the whole plot. That's a spoiler for the movie.
When's
Yeah.
by the way.
Yes,
tying
it
it back
is.
to Marvel here? Because the big thing
When's John
with
Malkovich gonna
yeah,
be
like the
Marvel?
big thing is a lot of the big Hollywood actors, even up and coming ones, everyone goes to Marvel and gives their dues, right? Because it's
Yeah.
a good fat paycheck, it's a lot of job stability, all that fun
It's
stuff.
not even doing your
So-
dues. That's like it's the biggest paycheck you'll ever get, right? As an actor. So it's like I think a lot of actors are probably working toward that Marvel
Yeah.
paycheck. To be honest.
Do you think Malkovich would do it? And if so, would he play a villain, a hero, and do you have a character
Well,
in
he was
mind?
way back when Raimi was doing Spider-Man 4, he
right.
was attached to play Vulture in that movie.
I could totally see.
So
that
he
Vulture.
he had signed up for a Marvel superhero movie. So I feel like if it was the right role, he would definitely do it.
Yeah.
The
agreed.
question is, who would you want for him to play?
It has to be someone like very eccentric because either that or someone so normal that John Malkovich is just the strangest thing you've ever seen. Him playing a normal person would be actually kind of unnerving. yeah. Yeah, like I don't know.
Old man Steve Rogers in the Earth, I think it's the Earth Zero comic line. So basically, in this, and I'm probably butchering, but it's like the arc is like Earth Zero or something. It's done through the eyes of the Watchers. They basically go through and they tell you, the reader, what has become of superheroes in the world. So some kind of Terrigen gas, whatever, is launched, and everyone has powers.
Oh.
What is it? Reed Richards' kid is like super bad. The Red Skull like owns part of America. Steve Rogers runs around half naked wearing an American flag. So
Okay.
that version
Seems about right.
is what I would want John Malkovich to play.
Interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
I feel
very
like
up
he's
there.
got to play. Who's like the Hulk adversary who has the big brain?
Oh,
Oh yeah, Brainiac.
no.
that's DC.
I remember that from the 90s Marvel Hulk series.
Maybe the leader.
I think something like
Yeah.
that.
He should play that.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool. That's right, because he has a big brain. He's always trying to get the Hulk
Yeah.
powers to be big and
Whatever
buff.
he does, he has to do a ridiculous accent.
Oh, of
because it's
course.
always hilarious when he does his over-the-top ridiculous accents.
Arjuna, your one-word impression for Loki episode 3.
My one-word impression for Loki episode 3 has to be enchantment.
Okay. And your
I
reasoning
was
is...
enchanted.
Oh!
It was an enchanting experience.
Did you watch the episode at midnight?
I did.
Were you
Of course
high?
you did.
If by sleep deprived.
Yes.
Nice.
No, I'm gonna go with enchantment because another reveal in this episode was that the Lady Loki, the Loki variant, her name is Sylvie, as we discussed in.
Well, she's changed her name to Sylvie.
right. She goes by Sylvie. Sylvie is, and if we're going through the comic book lore, is the name of Enchantress. The second version that we discussed for Loki episode 2. They obviously say enchantment a lot. Actually, Loki and Sylvie have a pretty long conversation about the enchantment and how it works.
We also see the episode
Opening
starts
scene.
with her talking to one of the TVA goons.
Right. We actually go back to right before the end of episode 2. Right before the meat of episode 2 when they go into that future before they came and she was enchanting that TVA agent. So we see how it works a little bit, and it was interesting because it was enchanting in the conversation between Sylvie and Loki. I know you found it boring, but I actually found it pretty interesting that what they were talking about, talking about their shared histories, their non-shared histories. And I think what I like about the show is Loki is a character you never know exactly
What he's thinking?
what his allegiance is, what he's thinking, what's 100% truthful or not. And you kind of get that vibe a little bit with Sylvie. So it's almost like just two bullshitters bullshitting each other a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Kind of reminds me of the D&D campaign we're playing, where where we have these two characters that are deceiving each other, and but
we know, but they
don't know that they're deceiving each other, and that's what it kind of feels like with these two. It's like
Marshall.
it's just like an extended poker game almost.
Oh, I like that.
And you
should-
felt
you
and you
should
felt
put poker
enchanted.
down.
No, I felt enchanted by that.
No, that's you're right, but poker's also
Is
a
your
good
top 5 movies Enchanted?
Ella
That one?
Enchanted? Is that what it's called?
Something
I
like
don't think
that.
I've ever seen it.
Really? That surprises me.
word. Wow.
You should watch it.
Have you seen it?
No. I have no idea what it's about.
Of course.
So, but you should watch it. Take one for the team.
All right.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Now, as always, Arjuna, when he stays up till midnight and he's sleep deprived, he decides that as soon as he's done watching it, he's going to give whatever he watches his version of a DVD chapter listing. Why? Only God knows. So, and as always, Krishna is going to be reading it. Is Krishna reading it or is Michael reading it? Who's reading it?
Oh, that's from last week.
Oh, okay, so Christian will be reading
It
it.
could be whoever you
And
want,
Christian will be-
including yourself.
Christian will be reading it in the voice of John Malkovich from
What?
Johnny English.
No,
Have fun.
that's impossible.
You figure it
Only
out.
John Malkovich can do that voice.
Nope, you're doing it.
I can't even. He's a fake French accent.
Yeah, so do a fake French
that
accent.
only Malkovich can do.
You
And
can
Which
do
is
it.
funny
French.
because he's French.
He's
and
French. He can speak
puts on
perfect
an
French.
intentionally bad French accent. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Malkovich is French.
I request a different voice.
Fine. Do Johnny English's voice.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
It's just a
Yeah,
posh
yeah.
British accent.
Yeah. Oh, hello. And we're back. I think I broke something. Chewie's non-canonical death. Get off my moon dust. Moon piercer. Another. Love is a dagger. What's the next part of your plan?
To blow up this plane.
No, that's it. That was a terrible.
That last one felt
But I
very
guarantee
much.
you, it would have been far better than John Malkovich's fake French accent from Johnny English.
Give us a sample of what we would have had, though.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Test here. Let's hear it.
And we're back. Nope.
What was that sounded?
I don't know what.
Were you just going?
Yeah. Wait. I'm having a hard time of even remembering what it sounds like.
That's fine. After we're done the pod, we will have you
I think it's
listen
like,
to tapes
Yeah. There we go.
for next week when you have to do it as John.
Actually, yeah.
Malkovich.
If you give me the voice in advance,
Mhm.
this might go a little better.
No, I like doing it on the spur of the moment
But then
because
it's terrible.
but it's funnier.
Okay.
part of the-
that's-
it's part
that's
of the
fair enough.
craziness.
Fair enough.
One thing that doesn't make sense for our junior chapter is Chewie's non-canonical death.
Well, because they're on a moon and it's like being destroyed, and Chewie gets crushed by a moon in that one book.
Juno's pulling out.
Wow, you were pulling Star Wars. Got it.
Real. That's like I appreciate it because I love that.
Can we so
idea.
explain for those listening?
So I think Christian you read the book.
I didn't. I started the series and never finished.
So there is a
Sounds familiar.
There is a Star Wars Legends. It's now under the Legends banner, but a Star Wars
Non-canic.
Legends book, which is a non-canonical Star Wars literature that came out pre-Disney acquisition of Star Wars, and in it, Chewbacca, our beloved Chewie, Wookiee, he dies. He gets crushed
by a moon.
by a goddamn moon.
Crashing into the
It
planet.
is a really epic death.
Yeah.
Really cool.
New Jedi Order, and I think it sets off Jason toward the dark side of the Force. Jason being one of the twins of Leia and Han Solo.
Jason Derulo.
Jason Derulo.
What the
Exactly. Jason Derulo.
So he dies. So I, when they were on the moon, I don't know. When I watched it, I was like, "Oh, Chewbacca." I don't know why that came up. But
That's a very kind of like out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
That's kind of cool.
That's what came up to me. Like,
I liked the Moon Piercer because I definitely got Snowpiercer vibes with the train and them being on it. Obviously, the big class separation. That's definitely interesting. Now, the folks on the moon. Now, the folks on the planet. The planet was called
Momentous One,
which I, at first when watching it, was like to Christian, I think this is brand new to the MCU. Not the
Nope.
case. It was actually in a couple story arcs, primarily setting off events of Annihilus, I believe is the character's name, which is an interdimensional kind of Ultron lookalike, but he's got
his name is
Annihilus.
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 Oh, interesting.
And he's got his mouth is weird because it looks like the negative zone inside his mouth,
that
but
makes
his
sense,
like
yeah.
helmet is like Ultron-esque kind of. He's a very weird creature, but he's an
Aren't we
interdimensional time thing. So I thought it was interesting that this planet was referenced, and that's where it kind of comes from. I don't think Annihilus and that whole thing is going to pop up because
He's the big bad.
that seems a
He's
little
working
insane
with
to me.
Mephisto.
He
Fuck
is
off.
Mephisto.
Fuck off.
He's
You know
Annihilus.
Mephisto. You know what? This is my theory real quick with Mephisto. Mephisto is going to show up in the MCU probably in like 5 years on some Disney Plus show, and it's going to be like half the point of one random ass episode of one random thing, and that's it. That's the only time he's
Is
mentioned.
it going to be like Ben
That's it.
Kingsley as the Mandarin?
Basically,
Oh, wow.
probably a step below that even.
Oh.
Well, we're getting the real
John
Mandarin.
Malkovich as Mephisto.
Oh,
Oh,
I will
the real
give you
man.
that spray tan if that ever happens.
No, you won't.
I probably won't.
He's like, I am Mephisto.
You should have done it. Oh, see, that was a perfect fake French Malkovich accent.
So let's go back real quick to the TVA. So obviously, Sylvie, a couple of things with the TVA. So Sylvie mentions to Loki, "Oh, by the way, the TVA are all variants," and then Loki seems concerned and says,
his
"Oh my
boy,
goodness."
They don't know.
Yeah, so what do we think about that? Is Mobius legitimately his boy, or is he looking at this more as evidence to his original statement, which is the TVA is like the Asgardian gods, bunch of false prophets?
Both. So what it proves. So Mobius, they had that whole long conversation right in episode 1 or 2, maybe both, about how Mobius doesn't question anything. Right? This is all he knows. He was given glorious purpose.
He follows blind.
He follows blind leaders.
Oscar Isaac.
So I think it's both, right? So I believe Loki probably has a soft spot for him, but also probably a larger part. It's like, I told you so. Like, you take everything at face value. I told you. Like, how ridiculous that is. He's like, haha, I was right. That'd be such like a Loki idea.
The thing is,
Thought.
who is Mobius? And is he actually just Owen Wilson?
That would be hilarious.
Just plucked from the 90s?
Oh my
I
God,
don't
that'd
know
be
who.
amazing.
I don't know who
And then
said.
they could do the wow meme.
I think it's one of the executive
Oh,
producers or maybe the director for Loki came out, I think, a couple days ago and said that Owen Wilson will not be doing his infamous meme "Wow" in the show at all,
Oh.
which sucks.
What a waste. Yeah. You don't
think
get
that's-
Owen Wilson unless you're using the
Can we
wow.
bring
That's
back
Marvel marketing
Should
lie.
we bring back Paul Bettany to do marketing?
I feel like
There's a great cameo.
There's a great cameo coming up. Me.
I mean, also, obviously, we know that, and it makes sense, right? Because Mobius had that whole thing with the jet ski.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, yeah, well, obviously. We should have seen it coming, to be honest. I feel dumb for not being like, they're all variants.
What if?
Wait, you guys predicted that.
Maybe
thought-
we might have.
I said
don't
they
know.
were clones.
You said they were plucked from the timeline.
timeline.
You did
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
That was Arjuna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Ravi, I can't remember.
they do look
I
the same.
think Mobius. Like, let's do some reckless speculation on who Mobius is or was, and I
Luke
think
Wilson.
I think Mobius is an agent of Shield. And he
Oh.
was plucked or he deviated during the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. And he was part of S.H.I.E.L.D., but he's also a Hydra agent.
Oh, wow. So he's all kinds of fucked up.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know who I am anymore.
But hold on, let me finish. The only reason he joined Hydra is because their payment and their salary was better than Shield's,
He could get
and
the
he
jet
wanted
ski.
to get the jet ski. So
Wow.
he decided to work with a Nazi-esque type group to get his jet ski.
You know why that would be funny is because in episode 1 he goes through this whole long bit about who Loki is and who he's supposed to be.
Yep.
So it'd be hilarious if he learns his own backstory and it's as convoluted as that. Because he's gonna be like, who is he to give anyone any kind of after that kind of reveal any advice about who you are?
Well,
It'd be great.
what's interesting, what they could do, they probably won't do this, but because they're variants, some of these characters could be well-known characters,
Yeah.
and they're variants, right? Like I think early on, when some of the first imagery of Loki came out, people thought Owen Wilson was playing a variant of Howard Stark.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
He's got the mustache.
because he had the kind of the mustache and a little
Yeah.
bit of a similar look, and people were like, "Is he Howard Stark? Maybe he's Howard Stark." You know,
That'd be wild.
But he became Owen Wilson Howard Stark.
it's a way to recast, right? You're a variant. You changed your look somehow.
So then what if, because we know Black Widow's coming out,
That's right.
what if,
Heard of that movie?
what is her name?
Black
Widow. What if she's a variant running around in here? If Romanoff is somewhere.
I mean, we'd have those, maybe.
Because maybe Steve went back and maybe he didn't let her jump off the thingamajiggy.
Mhm.
And there's a variant. And then it became an agent. And now that variant is going to show up in Black Widow.
Yeah.
That'd be so confusing.
We'll have to wait till the movie comes out. When does the movie come out?
July something.
9th.
Oh, okay. That's not too
10th.
far away. Wait, what? 19th?
No, I think it's July 9th.
Oh, okay.
It's 2 weeks from today.
Did you guys get your tickets? Has anyone gotten tickets?
No.
We still have
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
We were supposed to, but I don't think we've.
No one's
Landed
we
on
never-
anything.
Yeah, we usually do. We gave up. So yeah.
Other things to kind of discuss here before we get into my favorite part, which is who's the big bad, and then bold predictions.
Mephisto.
Loki. There was an interesting line that Loki dropped during the episode in terms of his sexual orientation. He's having a conversation with Sylvie. He first asked Sylvie, "Is there somebody waiting for you?" Which, real quick, do you think Sylvie's being serious, or is she just full of shit? Where she's like, was a postman or a?
I think I have a theory about that. I don't think Sylvie is a Loki variant. I think she actually is Sylvie, the enchantress that we talked about when you weren't here. I think Loki is someone she fell in love with, and he gave her powers, and it's kind of like the enchantress arc that we get in the comics, I think. And something happened there, and that's why
she hates that
I
name,
can't
Loki.
help but think this is like that weird tension between them that shouldn't probably be there if she is a Loki variant. Yeah.
So one character or one actor
Sexual
that we
tension.
know is appearing in Loki who hasn't showed up yet is the actor Richard E. Grant, who some people think is playing an older Loki, and potentially that could tie in with Sylvie and that enchantress type of.
So you think that another
Thing.
Loki variant she fell in love with gave her powers, and then the TVA came and annihilated him from existence.
Probably.
And now she's seeking revenge on the TVA.
Well, I think
Maybe.
she clearly has a disdain for the Loki name, right? She's
well,
like,
she has a
she-
disdain for
Don't call me
Loki,
that.
the TVA,
Don't call me Loki.
human life,
right.
Maybe that-
buildings, authority. She just
Let's
doesn't
be
like
let's be
anything.
honest, it's more likely that the Loki that she came in contact with betrayed her, and so she does hate like Loki. on some
But then
level.
why does she want to destroy the
That's just a
TVA so
theory.
badly?
Yeah, I mean,
They probably tried to erase her because
Yeah.
she's a variant, right?
If she's
Even
a-
if
if
she's
she's
not
a-
a Loki variant, she's probably, at least in
different
their eyes, some type of variant that needs to be pruned from the timeline, right? To be removed. So she's like, well, fuck you. I'm going to remove
I
you.
maybe
think-
there's more to it. Obviously,
I think I like the idea that there is an older Loki variant, but I think Sylvie is a variant of her own whatever, and another Loki was a variant. They were in love or whatever. TVA wiped him
Yeah.
from existence, so now she wants revenge.
I also think we should look at the whole what's been explained to us about variants and time variants with a little bit of a grain of salt because we know the TVA has
full
been
of shit.
lying and full of shit.
that is true.
And like who's to say what is a variant and what isn't, right? I think the reason I think we talked about this when we talked about episode 1 is the reason there's so many questions. It's like, how does this actually work? What is a variant? I think like Michael pointed out, like what makes big hulking Loki, right? Like how does
How
it
does that
become
come
a
to
variant
be?
like that,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I think like all of those clues kind of tell you that like there's bullshit here
Mm.
in terms of just what their quote unquote rules are and removing people and what these time bombs do and all of that type of stuff.
They also did say she had a Loki temporal aura.
Mm.
I don't know what that means.
Maybe
they
she
could
ate
be
him.
lying.
Oh
Exactly,
yeah, could have
exactly.
absorbed his powers
Yeah, took his
or her powers.
I have a theory on who the real big bad is.
Well, we'll get there in a second. The one thing that I do want to kind of give props to the show writers for was revealing that Loki is, I guess, bisexual. Cool. But how they did it wasn't a big deal. They just kind of threw it, as a quick one line and did it, I think, kind of nicely. And I think that's cool. Yeah, that's all.
It's there. I don't think it's a big deal. They didn't harp
The
on
internet does think it's a
Of
big
well,
deal.
of course, the internet is.
Oh, the internet went a little
course.
nuts.
I think the
but
bigger deal is
not
Loki
surprising, though.
is Loki falling in love with himself.
Yeah, that's what is interesting. Yeah.
What's wrong? I mean, you're supposed
thinks that
in
she's
order
Loki-
to love anyone else, you're supposed to love yourself. If you can't love
You're incapable
yourself,
of love.
then you're incapable
Yeah,
of it.
if you don't
You're
love
a
yourself,
psychopath and you should be locked away.
Allegedly.
It's true.
I mean, is that
So
true?
is he falling in love with himself and learning? how
Wait,
to
if
connect
this
with
Sylvie is truly a Loki or
yeah.
someone else?
Well, he at least we think he at least believes that she is a
a Loki.
Yeah.
and he
I
seems
don't
to
think
at least
he's-
have some type of
Yeah.
feelings for her.
I don't think it's love per se, like a romantic sense. I think it's what you said originally, where it's like one of you said it, where he needs friends.
Oh, he's lonely.
He knows for a fact that he can't ever go back to his old life. He knows that his father's gone. He knows his mother is gone. He knows that Thor thinks he's dead, so they can't go back. He has he has nothing else. So yeah, he's looking for friends.
That's interesting.
He honored Thor in this episode.
He
by
did.
doing the
Another.
Oh, that was great. That's maybe my favorite part. I wish he would have been like, "Bring me another." But he just
There
went,
should be
"Another."
a bar that specializes in that,
Another.
where you're allowed to you pay obviously a little bit more to cover insurance and then the glassware you destroy, but it's called like the Thor special, and you drink it and then you can throw it.
Well, like
and ask for another.
don't they use like sugar glass for?
Yeah, you could use sugar glass.
yeah.
Then.
It's less dangerous. And
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh, interesting.
You know what? That's how I'm gonna drink all my drinks going forward.
Bring me another.
If it's too hot in that bar, your sugar
Oh.
might melt.
Well, no,
Man.
I get like
So much mess.
I get diabetes because all of my drinks are infused with a shit ton of sugar now.
Already having sugar as
Yep.
well, with like
Yep.
naturally
That's just
alcohol.
ice.
It's a terrible idea. Anyway,
Sugar ice.
let's get into who the big baddie is. There, as always, the internet goes completely boinkers, throwing out names from Reed Richards' son to Mephisto,
It's Mephisto.
to
Charles Xavier.
Kang, Ravonna,
Magneto,
Time Masters,
to Vision, to
The White.
Tommy
Vision.
Lee Jones,
Captain America.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Christian Rambo Pal.
Kevin Feige himself. What if they actually reveal the Time Masters and it's just like Kevin Feige, Bob Iger, and Kathleen Kennedy?
Ooh,
Only one of them is the real villain, and I think we all know who.
Bob.
Yeah.
I agree.
Real quick, Bob Iger, I don't know if you've seen him recently. Man doesn't look like he's in his 60s or 70s. It's weird. What the? Okay, wow. Anyway, so let's run around the table kind of quick, and I want to know who you think the big baddie is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be what you've read or seen. It can be an original thought. In fact, I would prefer an original thought, and then explain to me why you think it's the big baddie, and provide evidence to your case.
Original thought is impossible, but
Is.
I will say I think the time
Keepers?
keepers are the big bad, and the reason is that
They're lizard people.
the lizard people. I know it's boring. It's the boring answer, the obvious answer, but just the way everything's been set up and the way it's going, that it just seems to be that's who it is. Like the TVA has been set up. It's not what it seems. The fact that Sylvie wants to destroy them, and at least in this episode, is becoming a pseudo ally toward Loki, our principal character. Mobius is being set up for a big reversal, big reveal. Turned on his head, his whole world shattered. And who's at the head of all of that is the timekeepers, whoever they are. Now, I don't think they'll be what we expect. Excuse me. I don't think they'll be what we expect. I would expect that at least one of them we've already seen before. They're in disguise. It'll be characters that we've interacted with, and
Well, it's like the TV trope, right? You don't like the
you don't want to bring
the
them
whole
out of
power
nowhere.
broker situation in like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? It was
Right.
who is the power broker? Are they going to introduce a brand new character? Is it going to be someone you've already seen? And
Exactly.
it was, and that's why the big bad is the power broker.
Oh wow. Okay, that's left
kind of jumping off of that. I don't have an original one because, like you said, it's kind of hard to have a brand new thing. But a lot of people are pointing towards Kang as the big baddie,
which I love.
I think it's a great.
hope it
I
is.
think it's a great idea. But again, I want to disprove that it's Kang, and I want to use the two previous Disney Plus shows, Falcon, Winter Soldier, and The Vision, or Vision and WandaVision.
The Vision.
And the main reason is because those big baddies in those shows were introduced somewhere early on. There was no new extra characters suddenly dropped the second to last episode. The villains were kind of all contained in what you saw, much like a television show and how it kind of functions. The other big thing, too, is Kang as a character. It's kind of difficult to just have this person show up in an episode and say, I'm the big bad guy, and you, the viewer, suddenly care, because if this is your first time introduced to this content,
Right.
you're like, who the fuck is Kang and why do I give a fuck about him?
Right.
I think the big baddie is Miss Timekeep, the animated
Miss Minutes? You
Miss
just
Minutes.
stole my whole theory.
Well, the reason I think that is tell me if this is the same theory, but the idea is I think the TVA had a legitimate plan in place to kind of help prevent the multiverse or whatever. But I think it's an automated system, and I think the system kind of fell in on itself.
It's Hal from Space
Basically,
Odyssey.
yeah,
that's
it's-
essentially what I.
It's basically gone and it's fucked itself
Oh,
over.
that's cool.
And the timekeepers, they may have been physical beings, but they're long,
So the algorithm
dead.
is broken.
The algorithm is
I agree.
broken.
So that was like
That's
my whole
great.
theory to begin, where the timekeepers aren't real, like they're dead, kind of like the Castlevania trope.
Yep.
Right. And I do think Miss Minutes is kind of nefarious, and I keep going back to the line Loki says in 1 or 2, where he's like, It's like, I know things that children don't. Right. No one is purely good and no one is purely bad. And you've seen that with a lot of different characters, right? That everyone's a little bit morally gray because it's more interesting. And we haven't, it just feels like there's much more to come with Miss Minutes. I think Tara Strong, the voice actress, has said, like, there's more to come with this character.
Oh.
yeah.
Which
There's a
might-
cameo.
There's that marketing.
It could be right.
There's that Disney marketing.
Maybe she's taking on the Paul Bettany role and pumping up her character for no reason. But it also goes back to what we've like specifically seen in the show. Who is the character that gives you the information about the TVA as a viewer, and as for Loki and all these variants when they come in,
Good
it's
point.
Miss Minutes. The training videos they go on so much about in episode 2, it's Miss Minutes, who's this pseudo AI video thing. It wouldn't shock me if she's somehow manipulating like Ravonna and
Right.
all these other characters too, of like, oh, these are the timekeepers and whatever.
I'd be curious to see, like, let's say we hit the nail on the head, and it is the TVA just kind of, and Miss Minutes is just basically the whole system is just broken. So then what happens with all these variants at the end? That would be interesting to see, because clearly there is some kind of science or there is some kind of thing to prevent this multi-dimensional thing, supposedly. Or, I mean, it could also be that variants aren't bad. Variants are actually needed and a good thing. That could be a thing. So I'd be curious to see what happens at the very, very end in terms of, like, does Mobius get to go and live his life on Earth 5.345 or whatever, variant?
Well, people have also wondered, right, with What If coming in August,
Mhm.
because it is about different realities
Yeah.
and different things. Like, is that proof that the TVA won't go back to as it is, and we are going to have all these multiverses, versi, whatever you want to call them, that will be explored in that. And then obviously we have Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. We have Quantumania for Ant-Man, which is the supposed like first appearance of Kang. We have Spider-Man, which could have 3 Spider-Men potentially.
Oh, can I ruin something for you guys or no?
What do you mean?
For what?
So the trailer leaked on TikTok about 2 weeks ago.
For Spider-Man?
What?
Yes, and I got to see part of it.
Is there multiple Spider-Men?
Do you want me to tell you or not?
Well, it's the trailer.
Yes.
We're going to see the trailer. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there were 3 Spider-Men. Now, here's the thing, though. It could vary, because looking at it, it's basically somebody holding their phone to a screen. It's very possible somebody just went and did it themselves.
Sure.
But it did look somewhat legit. So, I don't know. We'll see. It looked cool, though. It did look pretty cool.
I hope it is.
The other thing that makes me kind of sus about it is the fact that there was no audio from the video. It was just one of those like generic tracks or whatever. And I mean, that kind of makes sense because if you're leaking it, you want to hide as much
don't get
information.
caught, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But either way, I think that's kind of cool.
Huh.
Let's re-look at our bold predictions here. Krishna, for episode 3, you had said Loki out of time shows up to warn Loki.
Well, that didn't happen.
No, instead, you just had Loki staring in disbelief
At a falling building.
at a falling moon.
Yeah, well,
The moon is literally coming at them right
I was
now.
thinking of earlier in that when the building falls down and he
Yeah, he pushes it back up.
pushes it back up.
Which is that
Which
a
I
new
thought
power?
I was confused by that, to be honest.
That also kind of leans into the whole like
Is
maybe
this
Loki is
It's all a
enchanting
dream, yeah.
Sylvie, because he also like is weirdly lackadaisical about everything.
Gets drunk.
It's super convenient that like the what's it called, the temp pad
breaks.
breaks and doesn't work, and they keep failing to do it to keep the this interaction going.
So
it
you think
doesn't
Loki
end.
enchanted her?
Potentially?
Okay. that's
When they're back at the TVA and they're tussling, right, and before they go, maybe he just
yeah. Right.
real quick.
Does something. Yeah.
Especially because they start the episode with an enchantment.
Yep.
So and then maybe she falls. Remember, she like falls asleep at one point.
It's weird. So I mean, and she even said it right. The enchantments work based on who she's enchanting and their memory.
Right.
So it would make sense that Loki, is enchanting Sylvie
Because she has a memory of
that
place.
planet. He doesn't, because he's clearly like, "What is this place?
Right.
When are we? Etc.
He's
Etc."
lying about it.
Oh, interesting.
Well, it does like. Well, he wouldn't be lying about it because this Loki has never traveled to 2077.
That we know of.
Yeah. Quick question.
Who are you?
What is he trying to get out of her if he is enchanting her? Do we think?
I think he's trying to understand who she is and what her goal is and plan
To
is.
become her friend.
Yes, this is the ultimate.
This is the
ultimate.
ultimate
Like
friendship,
forget dating apps,
friend
guys,
request.
and
I
all
want this
friends.
to be
Have,
his
this is
entire
how you
motivation.
get friends and fall in
What
love
was
with
Loki
people.
about? Loki was lonely and wanted friends.
So he enchanted.
That should be the
He
thing.
fucked up time.
Yep. There you go.
nice.
Your season long is Mobius is going to journey and inspire Tony Stark on time
that
travel.
looks less and less likely, I think.
Do you want to revise it or leave it as is?
I'll leave it. I'll leave it for now.
I wasn't here for last week, so I didn't have an episode 3. But for the whole season, I said Loki reveals what the TVA is, and he's going to revive himself in Infinity War, and then Black Widow and Loki will somehow tie together. I'm going to keep those as is for right now because they still could happen. I think the Black Widow Loki tie-in, even if it's like Loki appears in the background of one shot running through,
No way.
that's still a tie-in.
No.
Still a tie-in. Arjuna, for episode 3, you said Kang shows up and fucks shit up.
I know. I thought that was so
It's very
funny.
possible Kang is the
It's
one
so
pushing
funny.
the moon.
Yeah, that's true.
Why? God only knows why.
To kill.
Likes to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Wow.
I watched a 30-minute video on Kang today
Yeah,
on
what
YouTube.
is his motivation? What is he trying to do?
He hates the Avengers because the Avengers cause him to lose out on the love of his life.
Love of my
Was it death?
I'm finding that the MCU or Marvel is filled with love.
Well, Kang
love
and
stuff.
Ravonna Renslayer and Kang have a bit of a
Yeah.
bow chicka wow wow.
Well, they don't. She rejects him.
What?
In some timelines.
What?
Well, pretty much all, and then she ends up falling ill and dying. And then him and the Grandmaster, Kang and the Grandmaster, have a contest.
Who does exist in the MCU?
And the Grandmaster gives him the power of life and death, and Kang wins by default, but he only gets the power of life or death. And instead of picking life to revive the love of his life, he picks death to kill the fucking Avengers because he's that much of a dick.
Nice. I like that.
He's an
I'm just
AF.
waiting. Well, we're like leading into this.
like it.
You know how they talked about the multiverse wars? That's going to be like our next Endgame event, right? We're just going to get a multiverse of like 10,000 iterations of every single Marvel superhero across all of time fighting.
And you
there's
know what?
Gonna be like 100 versions of.
And you know what they do? So Marvel and Disney, they do a big casting call for like cosplayers, and then like don't even care what your costume like, just show the fuck up. You cool? You're Captain
You're
America.
variant 457.
You're Captain America, but I'm
God.
wearing a Star Trek fleet uniform. Doesn't matter. You're Captain America.
Wow. Wow.
So Arjuna, you're wrong. Kang didn't show up unless he's behind the moon. Your whole season prediction is Steve Rogers will appear at the end of the season, and a Steve Rogers TVA show will happen.
I think that's a little less likely now.
Yeah, it's super less likely. And then lastly, you said TVA will no longer exist, causing a multiverse of madness.
I think that's way more likely now.
probably
I think we're
most
getting
likely
close to that one.
Yeah. Do we want to throw some episode 4 predictions in?
Yes.
Arjuna, because I stole your thunder,
Wow.
you can go second.
Thunder.
Christian, you can go first.
Oh, nice.
Thunder.
Next episode will be Mobius-centric. We're going to flash back to Mobius. He's going to be basically looking to figure out where they are. So it's going to go back and looking at all the apocalypses. Loki is going to put a kablooey wrapper somewhere. And that's how Mobius, at the end of the episode, is going to find them. They're going to find the kablooey, arrive.
Did you watch the episode already? Because this feels like legit.
He wrote it.
But then, and that's how they're going to escape the destruction of Lamentis one.
Okay. And Arjuna, what's your episode 4 prediction?
My prediction is Christian's prediction will be wrong.
Oh, I
Ooh,
like that.
well, that's a prediction.
Wait, Jeremy, if you put the kablooey, it's very important.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Is that really your prediction? Is
No,
that Christian's is wrong?
It's not. It's not. That would be hilarious, but no. My prediction is that
I'll help you.
I'm gonna go with
Kang will show up.
Loki. No,
Kang will show up and fuck shit up.
Kang shows up and shit's fuck up.
Oh.
This is our Juna's like new go-to. Instead of like so and so's gonna die,
Yeah,
it's now
someone
Kang
showing up.
shows up. Juna, we're talking about Star Wars. Yeah, Kang's still gonna show up.
All right.
Disney,
My bold
man.
prediction for episode 4 will be it was Agatha all fuck off. No, it's going to be that it's revealed that that Loki was enchanting Sylvie the whole time, and then we're gonna go back to the TVA, and she's gonna be like, "You betrayed me, fuck you," and there'll be more fighting, and then stuff will happen. I didn't think it that much through after that part.
No,
Okay.
that works.
I
But
mean, it
the
works.
main
It's
one
pretty
is,
good, yeah.
that Loki is enchanting her.
My bold prediction is not going to be episode specific in terms of the details of what we see, but my prediction is that this episode will be 45 minutes of actual content with the additional 10 minutes of credits.
I actually think it's going to be the same length.
36 minutes?
It'll be 38 minutes this time.
Ooh,
Yeah, 2 minutes long.
2 minutes extra of banging music.
Yeah, because
The music, by the way, was very, very good in the intro.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
And even the end credit stuff, like
I love the needle
very
drop. The needle
much,
drop is great.
very much like the music so far. Probably better. This is the best, I think, music score that we've had out of the 3
show so far.
Disney plus
the
MCU shows.
last song at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier was the best part of that show,
Wow.
or one of the best parts. I love that song.
It's a pretty good song. So that's going to do it for us on Loki. Still in the MCU, we got a new...
I didn't say if it's good or not.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the whole part
whole point of
Oh,
this pod?
actually, yeah, because Ravi, I'm curious to see. You should go last.
Okay.
So go ahead, start it off.
Arjuna, was Loki episode 3 good?
It was good. I enjoyed this episode. I think that it was enchanting.
Shut the fuck up.
Krishna, was Loki episode 3 good?
It was good. I really like this Sylvie mystery, Sylvie/Loki variant mystery. Throws a little bit of a pickle into the stew. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what's next.
Do you put pickles in stews?
You can, if you're fucking weird.
Krishna, please make a pickle
stew.
stew and put it on our social media.
Pickle stew. I don't make stews.
Hey, this is
and I don't
Christian.
eat
I'm making
pickles.
pickle
Krishna,
stew.
bring back Food Dude, and your first Food Dude is making pickle stew.
No,
We should bring
This
back
is how
food.
Christian makes his pickle stew. This is Christian. He goes to this grocery store, buys some pre-made stew. He gets some pickles. Throws the fucking pickles in the stew.
Hey, this was a good food, dude.
No, but
Let's
dude,
find out if pickle stew is good.
Dude was a bro. Like, hey, what's up, guys? This is Krishna, and I'm here with my pickle
And he just
stew.
like flexes like, yeah, pickle stew.
Yeah, pickle stew. We'll get you some temp tattoos of pickles on your bicep.
Oh yeah, I'm a
That
huge
should be your
pickle
whole
fan.
persona now. Is pickles.
I don't like pickles.
Pickles.
Actually, pickles aren't bad. I don't know. I'm not a pickle.
Pickles.
Ravi,
Yes, Krishna.
was episode 3 of Loki good?
No.
Oh man, see that's why we had to ask the question.
Was not my favorite.
You're
and,
insane.
Well, here's the thing. When you go back and everything and watch things, I don't know if you guys do this, but are you flexing your pecs?
What the fuck? I'm like, oh man, I forgot I can do that sometimes. All right.
But I don't know about you guys. Like when you go back and you watch a series, you'll sometimes naturally skip over episodes. This is an episode when I go back and rewatch Loki that I would probably just skip.
That's what you think.
That's what I know.
No, because you're wrong.
Okay.
I think this episode is, I think, integral to understanding. Is going to be integral to understand the whole show. You don't set up a whole episode of this Sylvie and Loki thing and not have it be a super important
Pivotal.
thing.
Sure,
Pivotal.
but I already got all the information out of it, and when I watch and finish the entire season, I'll know what I got out of the information. I
Will
won't
you?
go back and watch that episode to be like, it was entertaining, I want to watch it again.
But here's the thing, Ravi. I know how your memory works. It doesn't.
works great.
It doesn't.
I do think
Arjuna, it does.
I think there are some. I do think there might be some like replayability in this episode.
Just the single one shot at the end.
Just because I think there's a lot in the dialogue, and I think you've had that throughout the show, where there will be new meaning. I think by the time we get to it, to the end of the show, right? Because there's a lot of mystery and intrigue.
because
around.
it's obvious
What
that
is
one
the
is-
I'm
TVA?
confused.
Who
Are
is
you
Sylvie?
trying to convince me to change my answer? Because I won't.
No, you might. We're saying that you will change your answer.
Okay.
Guarantee
Okay.
it. Book.
We can definitely revisit it once the whole thing's
You'll
done.
just
and-
lie though.
No, you can watch me the whole day.
No,
Don't believe
because
me?
you lied about Mad Max. You're capable of lying about anything.
Did you?
Wait, because I lied about Bad Max.
Yes.
Did you really
Yes.
watch this episode?
Yes,
No,
I was watching
I
with
did
Christian.
watch it.
Maybe it's a long Kong. Maybe you're both lying. Did either of you watch this episode?
Arjuna,
My favorite part was
taken
the action.
You've taken the first step toward enlightenment. You have to question everything.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Good
like
job.
dinosaurs.
Are you really my brother?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Start there.
Yeah, dinosaurs.
Wait, are you guys
Question
actually here?
dinosaurs.
The Earth
my
is
new
flat.
thing.
Oh yeah, Robbie's gone on this thing where he doesn't believe dinosaurs might have existed.
Yeah.
Birds are
have you
fake.
seen
Birds
a
are
dinosaur?
fake?
Didn't think
Wait,
so.
what does that mean?
Hey,
that
have you
fake?
ever met this guy? His name is Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, we're
Like they
buddies.
don't
We
exist?
should be best friends.
10
No, they've been
pals.
replaced by drones from the government. They charge on electrical wires and they use birdhouses as maintenance.
What the fuck?
See, that makes more sense than dinosaurs not existing. Actually, it doesn't.
That's going to do it for us on Loki. Before we get into the Shang-Chi trailer, which dropped yesterday,
Trailer number
just
2.
before the, what game was it? It was game 3 of the Clippers Suns. The Clippers somehow won. It was
First ever Western Conference final win.
a very boring game overall.
Chris
wasn't that
Paul.
boring.
Chris Paul still is winless at Staples
Paul
Center.
George still likes punching people in the face. Anywho, Arjuna has a 60-second pitch.
69 seconds.
69-second pitch for Star Wars Resistance. Real quick, we should do 60 seconds because then we can put it on social easier.
Yeah, but 69 is funny.
How about we say
is funny.
69, but really it's 60,
All right,
and
no.
see if anyone picks up.
No, because I put a clock there. We'll be liars.
Who's timing?
I can time.
All right, and Arjuna is going to pitch Christian and I on why we should spend our hard-earned free time watching the animated series Star Wars Resistance, which takes place precisely between some movies in the sequel era.
Hey, let him pitch it.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. All right, Juna, you start in 3, 2.
Star Wars Resistance, the latest in the Dave Filoni Star Wars animated universe. It is a show that is a struggle to watch at first, but this is a staple with Filoni shows. Star Wars Rebels Season 1. Honestly, pretty tough. Star Wars Clone Wars Season 1. Borderline unwatchable. The R2 episode is complete garbage. The movie is true garbage. All of these shows take a certain amount of time to get through, and trust me, the first season took me over a year to get through. But by the time you get to the end of the first season, much like the Clone Wars, much like Rebels, it helps recontextualize certain events that happen within those movies and gives you the information and vision and entertainment to enjoy what's going on.
You
Still
done?
have time.
You have 7 seconds.
You should watch it so I don't feel so alone. Like Loki. I want friends.
Time.
Beautiful. This is timer going off. That was actually a pretty good pitch. I think you actually might have sold me on the
What?
simple statement of Dave Filoni takes a while to get you into those shows. That's a
Unfortunately,
very
Gina,
accurate statement.
What I wanted from your pitch, I did not get, so I will not be watching.
What did you want to get?
I wanted to hear about how the fighter battles are epic. I wanted to hear about the ship battle and the great tactical awareness of the show, because that is what I want from a show about fighter pilots and fighters.
There is some of that.
No, the pitch is
no,
over.
the pitch is over, Gina.
You had
The
time.
pitch is
You
over.
burned it. You burned it. You burned it.
Honestly, I forgot.
You got one out. You got one
that's
out of
okay.
two.
It's
You
okay.
got one out of two. I will probably give it a try.
No, you won't.
I will watch the first season, and
Gina,
then
don't listen to him. He's gonna Mad Max you.
it may take me 2 years.
Take you 10 years.
10
One
fuck.
episode a year.
I'll be in my 40s.
It takes
watching a children's show.
I
Fuck's wrong with me?
was, if I can, I know we're not on the pitch anymore, but one thing that's interesting about the show and the info that it gives is much more info on the First Order.
Oh.
And I think that is actually the most interesting part of the show. Even though it is supposed to be a show about fighters, I'll be honest, they're not that interesting.
Fuck.
But
You
what
lost
is
me.
interesting is the lore that you learn about the First Order and the crossing over of events, right? So the timeline of the show, most of the first season is pre-episode 7. But when they finally, at the end of the season, catch up to episode 7, very interesting stuff.
Oh, so it's very much like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the first season, which was painfully slow to watch. And then when they had the crossover with Captain America, Winter Soldier, because of the big reveal.
Right.
That's when that show got very, very interesting.
And if you think about like that Star Wars universe and what happens in Episode 7, you can see why it gets more interesting too.
I'm convinced. Good pitch. Good pitch. You got 1 out of 2, which is great. Last thing here before we get out of here. Shang-Chi, the trailer number 2 dropped. A new Marvel movie coming out in September.
A Marvel martial arts movie.
Marvel martial arts. Say that 15 times fast.
Marvel martial arts movie. Marvel martial arts movie. Marvel martial arts movie. Marvel martial arts movie.
Stop. I guess the big thing here, what did you guys initial impressions, and did you all see the big interesting villain reveal?
Not gonna lie, I totally forgot to watch it. But I did hear about the villain reveal. Very interesting.
Well, I don't think it's really a villain reveal though.
It's a boxing match.
It's just because it's abominate. So the big thing in the trailer, we got a lot of the fanboys and fangirls and fan people talking. Was the shot near the end of the trailer where you see our good friend Abomination, the Hulk's good buddy from that 2008 movie with Edward Norton, Ty Burrell.
Wait, they were friends?
No, they're not.
No, he's a military guy sent to stop the Hulk, and then the Hulk literally kicks him. It's Roth. What's his name? Tim Roth? Not Tim Roth.
The other guy.
Is it Tim Roth?
I don't think it's Tim Roth.
Either way, he kicks this character across a university, breaks every bone in his body, undergoes surgery and experimentation under the command of General Ross, and turns into the Abomination.
It is Tim Roth.
And it's Tim Roth.
I stuck on that camera angle to watch you realize that I was right.
Amazing.
That's really good.
I thought his name was something else, but I'm thinking of his character name.
No, it's interesting because Kevin Feige had said a while ago that Tim Roth was reprising his role of Abomination, and that we would see him in the Disney Plus show She-Hulk. So it's kind of interesting that we're getting an early glimpse, even if it is just a background shot and Abomination's beating the crap out of someone in a cage match.
They're at least
it'd be interesting.
Getting people familiar with the character again.
Again, yeah. Because it's been, 13 years?
Yeah, it's been a while.
I was I was a freshman in college.
You were a freshman.
I was in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, hey, guys.
Your voice was just breaking? Or?
Yeah, I was like, hey, guys, how you doing?
What happened?
Got a quarter?
Why did you go backwards?
And he's beating the shit out of, I don't know if you saw this or mentioned this. He's beating out of a sorcerer. It might be Wong. Some people think it's Wong. But it's at the very least, you see the sorcerer symbol. The Doctor Strange.
The Doctor Strange thing?
Yeah, who wins in a fight? Doctor Strange, Wanda, or Loki? They're all like sort of,
Magical.
weird powers.
Probably Wanda at this point, because
Yeah.
I feel like she's the most powerful. Doctor Strange is weird because...
He's a little strange.
He's strange.
Doctor.
Well, because I feel like maybe I'm misremembering the movie of Doctor Strange, but he's so weak. Like, he's so new to the job.
Oh, yeah, that's
And then, I guess time goes by, and then he's just good at it.
Yeah.
Dumamu, I've come to bargain.
Yeah,
he
I guess he
did
did that
that
enough
a
times.
billion times.
And he's like,
so-
now
1
I'm a
billion.
sorcerer supreme.
Well, if you do something enough, like a billion times, yeah, you get pretty
It's
good.
like pizza at Pizza Hut. If you get the regular pizza, it's okay, but if you get the Supreme, it's good.
Dumamu.
So because he put the Supreme in there, he's good.
All right. Yeah.
At what he does.
I would go Wanda, Strange, and then Loki.
Yeah, Loki would
interesting.
probably lose. I mean,
think so?
did you see how
Oh,
quickly
yeah.
Thanos, his neck?
That's true.
Well, I don't know if you heard my theory from last week, but my theory is that he didn't die.
I think I did tune in for that, and then I tuned out because I was like, this is ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous.
No, the
Actually, I
Loki
like it.
meets Loki variant meets Loki Prime, and he's like, "Hey, man, Thanos is gonna snap your neck." And he's like, "All right, I'll just
Create an
fake
illusion.
my death."
Create an illusion.
Because if you again, and I mentioned this last week, if you look at Loki's actions in Infinity War, they're very stupid. Like, his plan was, I'm going to give up the Tesseract,
Right.
and then a man who has 2 Infinity Stones in his hand, I'm going to take out my little dagger
And stab him.
and just use my arm and stab him. I'm going to do this whole motion.
Yeah.
That was his entire plan.
It's a good plan.
Horrible,
No. Oh, it's only a good
horrible
plan
plan.
if
But what
it's-
other
it
option
didn't
did he
happen.
have in that moment? Like, what other
To
plan?
go along and work with him? I don't know.
Yeah.
Why would he want? He
Pick a
doesn't
better
want to work
moment.
with him though.
Yeah,
Because
but that was not the right time to just try and kill him.
Right. When's
I
the,
mean,
it's just
when
tactically
is the right
terrible.
time to kill him?
Wait till he gets another stone.
Yeah, because then he's got 3 stones. You
Yeah,
go
but
at him
instead-
with 2
it didn't make
stones.
sense. That did not make any sense.
You know what?
Yeah.
To prove you wrong, we're gonna reset up the scene. Arjuna, you'll play Loki. Krishna, go find some Infinity Stones, and you're gonna have to try and kill Krishna with 2 Infinity Stones in his fake glove. We'll see what you come up with.
No, Loki faked his death, and then he's like, because that Loki knows the Avengers succeeds, like, I can go do whatever I want now, because everyone thinks I'm dead. That makes way more sense.
But how come they didn't find him floating with Thor?
Wait, what do you mean?
The whole ship blows up, and Thor is just left floating. Is left afloat.
Right.
Right. So if that Loki had faked his death, where did Loki go when the ship blew up?
Just disappeared.
Where?
He just
I
ran
don't
away.
know,
He ran away like a little
There's
bitch.
an easy way to explain it. It doesn't, you don't have to. there's
We'll
no stretch
find
of the
out. We'll
imagination.
find out when it happens.
Maybe he has the maybe he has the temp pad. Maybe he just changed time.
The TED pad?
The temp pad to open up a time portal. It just
tampon?
went boom, boom, and then he's out.
Oh, was that boom boom?
Sorry, terrible, terrible,
boom,
terrible,
boom, boom,
terrible.
Yeah, boom.
And with that, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you for watching.
You're welcome.
I think I covered everything that was in the outline,
You did.
except the call outs at the end here. We, as always, do this podcast live on youtube.com/wasitgood. Usually on Mondays and Fridays, but this coming week we're taking a little break on Monday. We will be back Wednesday for a special live episode of Loki episode 4. Most likely, what is this? I like hot cocoa. Send me some. I'm thirsty. Please, I'm dying. Help me. What the fuck?
Ravi, do you need some hot cocoa?
No, I hate hot cocoa. Be sure to
hot
follow
cocoa.
along on Twitter at Was It Good and on Instagram at Was It Good BTM. We do have a website, wasitgood.info. The newsletter is coming shortly, courtesy of Krishna and his writing skills.
I gave those up a long time ago.
Wow. To what? Dumamu?
Wow.
Dumamu.
Dumambu?
Dumambu?
Bababu?
Bumbubu?
Anyway, thank you for watching and goodbye.